welcome to another episode of We Are Not Wizards. My name's Richard. I'll be your host for May. The beautiful May. It's only a couple of months away until what? Well, you know, we're sitting at tables. We're actually caressing a bit of tabletop that is covered in order to stop a certain man drumming away that he was drumming away last time. It's kind of like another Kickstarter special for everybody that wasn't aware we ran a Kickstarter at the beginning of the year, and some lovely, generous, fantastic people donated and helped us support us. And one of the things that they were allowed to do is to come on the show and talk about anything that they wanted. And John from Tabletop Scotland was involved. Simon from Tabletop Scotland is here.
Hello, folks.
And I've got Duncan from Tabletop Scotland, and this time we're not going to mention the mattress or the van.
I did almost very mention something else.
How you doing, gentlemen? How are you? How are you?
We're all good.
We're all good. Yeah.
We're all good. Life's good.
We've decided.
Yes.
The three of us.
Yes.
Have made a decision.
Okay, what's that decision? It's like X Factor.
We're taking over.
Yes.
You're taking over what?
We've declared independence.
All right. Okay.
It's been a revolution.
We have revolved.
You've revolved.
We've revolved.
You've revolved 360
right
rounds.
Yes.
Why? What's happened?
Well, we're taking over. We're revolting against our evil overlord.
Indeed.
Right. Okay. Let's get to the bottom of this. Why is Dave now? Dave right? Is Dave now wrong?
I don't think he's now wrong.
He's always been. He's given himself a title, hasn't he? Do you want to tell us a little bit about this title?
Dave's title is Convention Director.
Covet. Do you have to bound?
It's worse than that.
What's happened?
It's undescribable, some of the things.
Yes.
Especially on a family podcast like this.
Oh, yeah, we can't do it.
Is there spreadsheets involved now?
Oh, the spreadsheets. The spreadsheets of the spreadsheets.
Has he gone past the point of just kind of like colouring them in with primary colours, and has he moved into pastel shades?
Oh, obviously.
I mean,
yeah,
is there...
Oh, no, we're past pastel.
Oh, wow, okay.
We're past pastel.
Past pastel.
And we're now doing custom colours using a little hexagonal grid.
No!
You know what I'm talking about.
Have you each got your own colour then?
Well, that's racist. That's one of the reasons we've had the revolution.
Because we don't see each other's colours.
Ah, dear. And how do you see yourself then, John?
Well, I am. Well, no, Simon can go first. 'Cause he's got.
I am the Secretary General of the People's First Committee.
Secretary of the People's First
Secretary
Committee.
General of the People's First Committee.
All right, okay.
And Duncan is.
I don't know these people. If anything, I might be their caterer.
It's a bedtime over.
And I think I've been upgraded from minion to skivvy.
Yeah. So.
Is that an upgrade? Really?
That's pretty good, because
Yeah,
I've never seen you kind of get higher than kind of lackey.
I know.
Flunky, possibly. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
Flunky implies intelligent.
No, the thing is, flunkies almost always gets a line. For comedy
I
effect.
suppose, yeah.
Whereas skivvy's just, might be in the corridor when you run past.
You're probably the person that clears up the stage afterwards of kind of sadness and cigarette butts.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
I'm not going to say we've already had enough swearing in the unreleased.
You should do outtakes.
There's no outtakes. There's not going to be any outtakes. There's no editing. Let's put the clock back a little bit, because we haven't actually spoken since last year, since Tabletop Scotland, which I went to, which I ranted next to Duncan here.
And that was funny.
And
I lost, I believe.
I did lose. It was quite disappointing.
I enjoyed your rant. Your rant was very good. You came with your props. You were to the point. The only problem I had with your argument was, and the reason why Duncan did get my vote, is because at the very least Terraforming Mars makes an attempt to be an actual board game, whereas the mind, well, it's shit.
I didn't want to bring that up. I didn't want to bring up that whole thing here just now. It's still a little bit of a sore point. I'm kind of looking at Duncan without my glasses on, so I can't see him. I mean, this is where we are with things. Last year, however, was a wonderful success, to the point where people loved the event. There wasn't really anything in terms of a kind of a negative or even kind of neutral stance on it. Everybody that I spoke to that came to Tabletop Scotland kind of really, really enjoyed themselves. Now, looking back, I mean, you must be in a position now. You got a bit more confident this year. Do you know where you kind of stand with things
I
this
think
year?
3 out of the 4, huh?
And we're here, and Dave's in another building somewhere, rocking back and forward.
He's gently rocking.
But I mean,
himself
no,
to sleep.
seriously. I mean, the way the event kind of turned out. Were you surprised by how everything kind of went? Did it kind of exceed your expectations?
I think
I would say yes, actually.
I think that the overwhelming sense of dread vanished a lot quicker than I was expecting.
Yeah. Okay.
And then once we actually got into the swing of things, there was a lot of work on the weekend.
Yeah.
So the irony is, of course, is that we know people had a great, fantastic weekend. And we had a good weekend, in many respects. I've absolutely no idea if I had any. I know I didn't have any fun. I saw Duncan's face and Simon's face and Dave's face repeatedly throughout the weekend, and they weren't having fun.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, when we actually on the Sunday night, once everyone had gone out the place and we'd got everything packed away, and we were standing outside the centre,
Absolutely fucked.
absolutely fucked. I mean, proper.
Right.
Just basically just sweat in t-shirt.
It's like doing your own wedding, kind of like twice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. You gotta be the face.
Basically, we went to McDonald's and it was like,
Yeah.
we just inhaled the food. And was it in the face then? It was like, it's just inhaling it. Just
It was like, calories, please.
Do you not have shawarma then?
But it wasn't until we very deliberately didn't do anything for a fortnight, and 2 weeks later we sat down in a team meeting, our first post-match, as it were. Sat down and were like, well,
Do I do this again?
do you want to do this again? And I think all four of us were like, we could see ourselves doing this repeatedly.
Yeah. Because that's the important thing. I mean, regardless of how the event kind of ran at the time, it was whether or not it's like, does it make financial sense? Because there was some financial kind of dependencies kind of in there.
Totally.
And and secondly, is it better to remember it as a one-off that's going to be kind of fantastic, or are you going to go like an aircon and kind of grow it and can kind of continue?
Well, I think that's the aim. Is we realistically, we're not going to be rulers of the UK convention scene. Because that's just not achievable. But a nice, steady curve of growth would be lovely.
But we don't need 4 UK Games Expos in the UK. We just don't. I mean, I don't think. What I liked about Tabletop Scotland, and I said this in the review that I wrote in the blog, which you can read, is that it was the ability that it wasn't so busy that I needed to actually completely remove myself from what was happening, that it was kind of, there was a steady pace, there was enough people. If you wanted to get involved with people, you could. If you didn't want to get involved with people, you wanted to have 5 minutes to yourself. You could kind of get
and I think the consensus and the feedback we got was that nobody felt uncomfortable. There was no point where anyone felt this is unmanageable for me, this is uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
I mean, and God forbid he's going to get some praise from me in public. But Dave did insist on a couple of really simple things which, from an economic point of view, don't make much sense. And that we could have fitted 50% again more tables in than we had. Yeah. But because Dave was like, no, we're going to keep a set gap between the tables, and it was 1.8 years?
It was 1.8
years. Which, doesn't seem like a lot, but when you lay out the tables we had them laid out and the way people were flowing through them, that floor space, that gap, does exactly what you described. It made sure there was no overwhelming sense of I'm in a horde of people. Yeah. I mean, even though we're doubling the total space we've got this year.
Right.
Yeah. I know.
That's huge. I mean, you had a big space. It was a big space kind of last time. I remember walking in and expecting something like, say, the Glasgow Games Festival type space, which was never really like a huge space, and going in and going, well, this is bigger, and you going on to kind of Dublin.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that for me was like a really big turning point on the weekend itself was, I think it must have been 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock on the Saturday. I went up to the balcony, looked out across the floor, and you saw full tables, and you saw families having fun,
Yeah.
and you saw an exhibitor area that was packed with people looking at things that they maybe hadn't ever seen before, people playing on Geek and Sun tables, people taking games at the library, and that was the point where I kind of stopped and thought, aye, this has been worth it.
I mean, I was upstairs. I took a video of 11 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I took a video again about 6 o'clock on the Saturday. And you could feel the difference. You can see the difference. But it didn't feel crowded. It never, even though it was busy, it didn't feel like it was. Even on the Sunday, I mean, the Sunday when it was a bit quieter, at peak, peak time, it was still, there was a hustle and bustle going on.
You get a couple of 100 bodies in a room, and it heats up.
Yeah.
We melted the ice rink, so the second hall that we're taking this year was next door, and because it was a bit later last year than we're having it this year, the ice was going down for the curling rink, and the heat that was being produced from the hall we were all in was causing condensation, which was causing water droplets to fall on the ice. It put them back about 2 weeks in terms of preparing the ice.
The attendees at Tabletop Scotland melted 2 inches of ice on an ice rink.
That's amazing.
And if at any point of the weekend you thought you've not seen one of us for 10 minutes, it's because we were standing in the ice rink cooling down.
Yes, that would have been nice.
Because the cooling was on. But I mean, just the consensus we got feedback-wise from the vast majority of people was that they had a great weekend. You could see it in people's experience. I mean, one thing that I really liked seeing was the number of people that, as they were leaving on the Saturday, that had bought Saturday tickets.
Yeah.
And clearly they bought a Saturday ticket because it's a new event. They didn't know what they were getting into. They weren't sure about it. We're taking advantage of the fact that we were going, well, pay the difference. You can come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Take your Saturday, turn it into a Sunday, so an extra £5 come back. And people were doing that. People were buying effectively a Sunday ticket on the way out to come back on Sunday.
Did it have an effect on a personal level?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is the board game community is a huge community and everybody's well known for. So for yourselves, was there a bit of an effect on how you were perceived in the community? Have you all of a sudden found that people have kind of...
I've always gone to quite a lot of conventions, and I find now that there's more people that will recognise me from having even just walked past me and seen my name on the big yellow T-shirt or something like that. It's stupid things like that. But I mean, I think we all probably made some sacrifices in the run up to it as well. Yeah. So I mean, I know on a personal level, most of the nights that we had to have our meetings were my normal game night with my game group. Yeah. So you're sacrificing actually doing the hobby to do something for the greater good of the hobby, almost. But
when John and I we went down to Birmingham on what day did we go down? The Wednesday.
We drove down the Wednesday
to pick up stuff, and then we drove back up
on the
Thursday, and then the Wednesday after we drove back down to Birmingham to drop stuff off.
So we
drove back up
stuff up from the UK Games Expo guys from their storage. Hired a van, drove down, and then drove down and back up. So that was fun.
Fun for him. I was the present. It was great.
So that was fun.
I drank beer and slept. It was great.
Yeah, exactly.
on the mattress in the back.
What did that mattress smell of, Duncan?
On the 25,000 feet of tablecloth. I mean, to be honest with you, it's quite funny is that we're getting brand name recognition. People talk about it. People have talked about it. It's not like it was a flash in the pan and people in the Tabletop Scotland would think it's not happening again. There's clearly brand. We've already started that process, having that brand name recognition. Individually, though, they don't let me out in public very often, so nobody knows who I am, which is quite good because it means Dave really is the public face and Duncan's sort of the other public face, and then that means that I can safely go unaware and unnoticed. So when it comes to doing stuff, they're the ones that get hounded, as it were, and I can fuck off and do what I want.
I endorse that message.
But it's actually interesting because Dave initially hated this fact that people were calling Tabletop Scotland TTS, they were abbreviating it to TTS. He hated that. He hated that. So we went out of our way to make sure that we adopted that.
Hashtagged it and everything. So hashtag TTS19.
Yes.
But that you need stuff like that. You need something that's easy that somebody's just going to throw out there.
Although we did have a few checks on that, and we got messages from an American fucking furniture company.
Yeah,
because it's tabletop. That's all they saw was tabletop.
Yeah, it's like, fantastic.
If that was the worst random message we got, what we're
What
doing.
we're doing,
exactly. It could have been an
Yes.
awful lot. It could have been an awful lot.
But I mean, we really did have a good. I mean, it doesn't say we didn't have much fun, but it was a great weekend. I mean, we all came away totally stoked with the success it had been, and I think we were all surprised by the level of success. None of us are driving big fancy cars because of it.
Well, he's driving a big fancy car.
No, not because of that.
Yeah, it wasn't a big fancy car. I fell against it on the way in. So.
Somebody's Kickstarter laptop was getting thrown out a window.
That's insured. It's fine. With the big thing is you mentioned kind of going into the bigger kind of space kind of thing. Do you feel under pressure to kind of make it bigger, make it more exciting, make it more just tabletop, TTS 19 plus, whatever?
I think we want to try and we want to make it bigger.
Right.
We're already up on what our expectations are, but we make it bigger. But it's not just bigger for the sake of bigger. It's bigger because there's more interest, and then we also want to maintain that bigness. Let's say, but also keep it intimate. Yeah. So that's just one of Dave's challenges. Dave loves his little maps and layouts, and
if it wasn't for that piece of software that Dave can do a layout of every table and
he loves it
in the entire place. Yeah. Oh, I don't know what to do with this time. I really do.
How that man still has a job amazes me. But no, I mean, bigger doesn't necessarily mean we're detracted from any of the stuff we made a successful year one in 2018. No. What we're doing is we're adding more of the same. We know what worked.
Yeah.
We're pleased that in terms of our decision making, I think, in terms of what we did in the lead up and the way we did things at the weekend, we weren't ever firefighting. We've not done any firefighting. What we were doing was we were going, right, we made that decision.
Yeah.
It was a valid decision. It was a good decision. But here's how we improve that. So going bigger, we think, is an improvement. It's not to say we will continue to grow at any given amount, but we know that based on the feedback we got from 2018, going bigger is the right thing to do this year. If there is a Tabletop 2020, I'm saying Tabletop 2020, if there is, because,
TTS 20.
TTS 20. Although TT 2020, I think. No. We're going to have to hashtag that out.
We'll hashtag it.
This whole thing that we're on. We've actually already come up with an idea for the T-shirt for 2020, so that's probably why we're going to do it.
My idea. It's fucking genius.
Get this on the
tape. It is fucking genius, I have to say. That's my. If anyone takes anything from this, I had a fucking genius idea for next year's T-shirts.
2020 T-shirt.
That's it.
So basically, at the moment, our current thinking is 2020 is all about the T-shirt.
There's just one in the middle of the floor. What? I paid $17.50 for a family ticket for this? It's like, so where is it then? Well, it's in the corner there.
But that's a small, but overheads.
Exactly. It's not called TTM or TTXL, is it?
That's going to happen somewhere. So growing it makes sense. Will we infinitely grow over years and years and years? Probably not. We don't need to do that. But making more of the same, bigger, for us, we think is a better choice this year.
I think we like the venue. It just really works for what we're trying to do. And there was always a bit of nervousness about whether Perth was the right place to have it or not. Would people come from Glasgow? Would people come from Edinburgh? Would people come from Aberdeen and Inverness? And they did. And they came from England, and they came from France, and they came from Germany. And I think
this year, so last year we had tickets from sales from across Europe. We've had people buy from the USA this year already.
See, that's amazing.
And they're Americans, so we can sell them cheap whiskey and tell them it's expensive. We're good. Don't listen to the Americans.
You could sell them a T-shirt. I mean, I'd like to say that at least 60% of our audience know.
I know.
So, it's that kind of thing.
Sorry, at least I haven't insulted the people of Perth who were holding our convention date.
That's what you're talking about. That's what you're talking about. Love the place. Love it.
But yeah, so we've seen ticket sales go up again this year. They're going up. Year on year, we're ahead of where we were last year. We're expecting a very decent increase in the number of attendees, but because we've increased the amount of space, double the space, we'll have way aiming for the same feel, the same atmosphere, the same relaxed environment.
But the change of date for this year is actually really quite significant because we've had to pull it a week further forward so that we could have both halls, so the ice wasn't going down like it was last year. But that coincides with the August bank holiday weekend, so it's the 24th and 25th of August.
Right.
So that hopefully should mean it's easier for some of the guys from down south to maybe have a long weekend, see a couple of distilleries, whatever. It's right at the end of the Fringe in Edinburgh as well. Yeah. So potentially you're going to have a lot more American, Australian, New Zealand, from all over the place. Actually in Scotland, why not just extend your stay for a few days? Come along to Tabletop Scotland.
See Perth, see the Highlands.
Well, I mean, there'll be a lot of tourists buses and stuff like that. Perth is a massive kind of popular
attraction. And as Duncan said, it is actually, in terms of our Scottish audience, which is going to be probably our core audience for as long as we do the thing, it's 45 minutes from everywhere.
Guys, I mean, it's,
motorway driving, a bit long from Aberdeen, a bit long from Inverness, but bottom line is 90% of our audience comes from a 45-minute drive.
Yeah, as I say, I like that.
Yeah.
I like knowing that I was staying until 10 o'clock at night or whatever time I stayed until, and just saying, right, okay, I'm not looking at, it was like when I went to Aircon and I ended up driving down on the Friday night because I thought, if I have to drive down on the Saturday, I've got to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning in order to get down. It was Tabletop Scotland. It was like, well, if I go up for 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, then I know I was only going to be 45 minutes kind of away. So what's going to be the changes? What have you got in store for people who are coming along? You're not allowed to look at your notes.
Dave, you gave us a script.
Exactly. It's burned!
Right, so...
Exactly as it's written.
Exactly as written.
You'll get a smack if you don't need it exactly
as written.
Right, okay.
Event bookings open Friday the 24th at 8 p.m. That's Friday the 24th of May 2019 at 8 p.m. 20 hours for those keeping military time.
This is his best Mario Stewart impression.
My best Mario Stewart.
That's the saddest.
Yeah. Some stuff's coming back.
Right.
So the big stuff that's coming back is, and the focus we had last year, upstairs was all the RPGs.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of RPGs, and this year we've got a lot more RPGs. So we've got 20 tables of 20 RPG tables in every slot.
5 slots.
5 slots on the Saturday, Sunday, so it's 5 slots. So
3 Saturday, 2 Sunday.
3 and 2.
Yeah, 3 and 2. So it's on that. So that means over the weekend, 100 sessions.
Yeah.
Whereas it was 70 in 2018, so a decent jump. The Saturday night, we'll see the return of the Dungeons and Dragons Epic, which was literally epic last year. Do you know the story about the Epic?
No, I don't know. So, tell us the story about the Epic.
So the thing with the Epic is it's all one storyline being played by all the different groups at different tables. But it's the group you're in the table you're at is based on your level within the game. So level 1 to 5 and so on. So one of the top table, effectively one of the top tables, they destroyed a magic book. So it was magic book.
Yeah, no, they found the magic book.
They found the magic book.
They misunderstood the instructions on the book, or the instructions about the book.
It was
decided to cast a spell on the book to destroy the book. Destroyed said book.
And at that moment in time, all the magic in all the games stopped working.
Whoa! Yes. So, someone was in the middle of casting a chain lightning spell. Just gone.
Somebody actually was fighting in bare form. Oh dear, they were fighting in barefoot.
And there was also somebody was an invisible rogue at the time creeping past
A guard as well.
a guard.
Yeah, it was no longer invisible.
No longer it was.
So did you just stand up at the time and just say, right,
Dungeon
we've got
Master
Greg.
a world-changing announcement?
Yeah, and all the tables, because you're all playing the same game.
Yeah.
You're all doing different parts of the same game. So this group, and they've been given a cryptic thing about the beginning, proper D&D style, proper RPG style. It wasn't straightforward. This is a magic book, protect your life. It was, here's a thing, they had to do it, and they did what they thought was right. They fireballed the fuck out of it.
But then, as well as the epic itself, there's actually some D&D Adventurers League scenarios for D&D that have been specifically written for Tabletop Scotland. So they are properly sanctioned adventures.
Sanctioned by Wizards of the Coast, so approved by them.
And written by writers from their stable of writers.
Because all this, so the thing with the Epic is, in fact, one of the groups did it last year, is with the Epic, if you are part of Adventurers League, you can come along and use your Adventurers League character part of the Epic. So one of the groups last year, in fact, the group of book fame, they'd actually been powering through their games to get themselves up to, I think, level 17 to get into the top tier to beat the top table, as it were.
But at the end of it, they had a bad tone.
So we've got that. So and we've got a bucket load of other RPG systems. So we've had people signing up for different RPG systems. All since we opened applications, we're getting applications for. Think of a system. Somebody's either applied to do it, or somebody is doing it, or we've got a variation thereof.
So you've got like the Star Wars, the kind of the Age of the Empire, Age of Rebellion games, the Star Trek Adventures game.
I mean,
there's like a whole host of like different systems and different scenarios. So even if D&D ain't your thing, there's absolutely going to be a skin of a game essentially that's going to suit the theme.
And again, the same as last year, we're not pre-booking all the slots. So we're not going to have people turning up at the weekend going, I want to do D&D. I can't because they've all been taken by sign up. Last year, we set it so that only 4 from every 6. So a table of 6, 4 were pre-bookable, 2 available on the day. We're doing the exact same thing this year. We're making sure that there's going to be slots available for people to come along. And if you haven't role-played before, if you want to find out what all the fuss is about D&D, or if you love Star Trek and you want to finally have your shot at being, a Klingon or a Gorm or something, then you can actually do it.
Okay.
We want to focus on that because last year there were people. I mean, I was standing in the foyer last year, and Anne, Duncan's lovely wife Anne, and my friend Nicola, they were doing the cash desk, selling tickets for us. Shouted me over, and there was a family there, a family of 4, mum, dad, and 2 kids, and they're like, we want to learn about Dungeons & Dragons. Took them upstairs, signed them up. Signed the daughter up, signed the mum up for a different session. And that was like, and then that was the start of Sunday morning. Then Sunday afternoon, I saw them walking past and said hi to them again. I said, daughter, what you got there? And the daughter opened her bag and she had her brand new Player's Handbook, a brand new Monster book, a brand new
DM screen.
And then mum had her own bag with all the stuff in it. And dad had the look of utter hatred on his face.
It is worth pointing out, though, the sign-ups will be in the foyer now.
Yes, not upstairs.
Yes. That's one of the improvements we're making.
Yeah, from feedback from last year, we want to make the sign-up process a bit visible. So we're putting them downstairs in the foyer reception area when people come in. So people have the opportunity to sign up a lot easier for different sessions.
How did you get your feedback from the previous year? I mean, did you volunteer? Did you actually go and say, could you volunteer some feedback?
Oh yeah, we
sent out emails to people.
Everyone that signed up for the newsletter.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't an attendee.
Yeah.
Got a feedback question and got a chance to give us feedback. Some of it was illuminating. Some of it was interesting. Some of it was downright hilarious.
One guy didn't like Perth.
One person told us repeatedly didn't like Perth.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
And I had to check 3 times it was Duncan's email.
It was definitely Duncan.
It was definitely Duncan. So we just, and we put the link on the Facebook, we put it on the website, we tweeted it out. So we basically said people, tell us what you thought of our event.
Yeah.
And we shared it far away. We got a lot of good feedback. We got a lot of feedback. We got a lot of interesting feedback. People contacted us individually to give us feedback. People contacted us anonymously. People sent it through Twitter. All the different media you can think of, we got feedback. So we got a huge...
You got quite a lot of written reviews as well, I noticed.
Great number of reviews, which went down well.
It was quite satisfying actually reading some of the reviews.
Yeah, some of the reviews were good, yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, I think the reviews told us that the people that take it seriously took us seriously.
Yeah.
But the people who wanted to have fun had fun.
Yeah.
And not those two things aren't necessarily the same, but
well, the reason that we ended up writing something was it's kind of an acknowledgement and I guess a kind of a thank you as well, because I think that's kind of important when you know the amount of work that you put into getting an event, just to say, well, this is actually kind of what we thought, and it's really easy to write a couple of paragraphs and stuff like this and just kind of pass it off, but it was genuinely.
Yeah, and I think that the thing I liked from the feedback highlights were the number of it that came back to me and my family. My kids, my son.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And Duncan mentioned earlier, you could see the kids, you could see the families in the family zone. The Habba zone last year went down a great treat. The introduction, the intro game area, because we had games set up with people, so people who were even first time gamers. I mentioned my friend Nicola, her partner Mike brought his daughter along to visit on the Saturday. They'd never played games. By the time they left, somebody had a copy of Super Rhino
Hero Battle.
Well, I mean, that's the law, isn't it?
Exactly.
But I think that gateway zone really it was a gamble to know whether that was going to work or not. But I think it went quite well.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of where it was. You walk in the door and it's there right in front of you, and the people who we had on there as volunteers were almost trained to see. Right, there's a look of bemusement on that person's face. Yeah. Engage them, see if this is something that might interest them. And that was games like Ticket to Ride and Colt Express and Carcassonne and Splendor, things that are easy enough to kind of get into. They're not difficult to teach, but they're a first step into that. But
there's a reason why Ticket to Ride sold however many million copies it sold.
Yeah.
The bottom line is it's a great game to introduce somebody to the hobby of board gaming and tabletop gaming. But it's a great game, full stop.
Yeah.
And that family aspect is something else. But we've just remembered RPGs. We're working on it. I think we've got a few names.
There's a couple
lined up for RPG sessions aimed at 8 to 12-year-olds. We're actually dedicated sessions for.
Yeah, that's good. But I think it kind of gets, it's one of these things that maybe gets kind of looked over.
Still to confirm the exact setup for that and plan for it, but we're working on that. That's something that we're trying.
Are you having a session on using their inside voice when they're playing D&D?
What's the point in that? Where's the fun?
Just a minute. You're asking John Harper if he is helping people to use their inside voice.
Before I do that, I'm going to have a session on using people's inside voice at Dwarf on a Friday night.
Well, that's very good.
Yeah, I am going to do that.
It's a little bit shouty.
Yes, a little bit shouty. So yeah, just we want to keep that family friendly.
So does that mean that Habba going to be coming back?
Habba are back. So yeah, we've got Habba back. We're also doing the Gateway Zone again. We're going to mix up the games that are in there a little bit. So a few new ones like Flamme Rouge, the cycling game.
Yeah.
Takenoko.
Yes.
Just I think
because I love that.
It looks great. It's one of those ones that will just draw people in as they walk past the table.
It plays well. It looks good. It's quick to learn, and every time I've played it with anyone, they've walked away going, "I want to buy this. Or I want to play more like this." And some games great to look at, but you walk away, you never really feel anything for it, but you can go away from that when you really do like it. I thoroughly enjoy it.
The game that was actually taken out of the library most last year was Santorini, so we're actually going to put Santorini as one of our gateway games this year. It was ridiculously popular. I think 16 times over the 2 days.
Probably more than that. Probably more than that.
Yeah.
I think Kenny said when we looked at the bits of paper, the longest it sat on the shelf was about 8 minutes.
So is it going to be the same setup for like the game library? Because obviously last year there was drama. With the game library. So we're going to have a library of about 300 games this year. So Kenny Lee of the Dice Roll Cafe is our library guru. Kenny's lovely. Kenny's been on the show.
Yeah, so Kenny did a great job last week with the library, and he very graciously has agreed to do it again this year. So not going to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah,
he did a great job, and he corralled that team of volunteers really well. So
and they were constantly busy through the entire weekend. I mean, that was
They put a fair shift in. I mean, they really did over the weekend. Those guys really, really worked their asses off, and they deserve a lot of credit for how well they did that, because they weren't just filling in bits of paper and giving people games. They were genuinely people come saying, "What do you recommend?" And they were giving people opportunity to learn about great games and enjoy playing in that. And that carried over quite a lot from the Gateway, because people who come to the Gateway. There was more than one occasion where one of the guys from the Gateway was handing them over to the library, and you enjoyed that. Try this in the library, and then they were going to the library, and those guys were doing a really good job of keeping that experience flowing.
Is it going to be? Are you aiming for like a bigger library? Are you going to have more volunteers kind of getting involved in the library this time?
Yes, and yes.
Right. Is it easier to get volunteers this year so far than it was kind of previous years? Are you not at this stage of kind of asking people?
Well, no, absolutely. We've got quite a number of people who volunteered last year have re-volunteered again, and there's been a number of new people kind of volunteered as well.
Volunteered?
Yeah, so some have been volunteered.
Volunteered. Thanks.
But some have been volunteered, including our volunteer coordinator, my lovely wife Anne.
She'll be delighted.
Yes.
No, she actually volunteered.
Yeah.
Did she?
Genuinely.
She volunteered to look after volunteers.
Well,
about that.
Is that some kind of power trip thing?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Never have two Cowans in the same space. It's like Harper's. But I mean, as well as the RPG schedule, the change, the seminar track is really something that's been expanded quite a lot. So last year we had really two seminars. So Meeple Like Us did a seminar on accessibility within board games, and Bez did a seminar on Board Game 101. But we've got a significantly sort of expanded number of seminars this year. So we're going to have a world building seminar. So that's Tom Mannering from the Unlucky Frog is going to be leading that, and joined by a couple of the guys from Modiphius, Kevin from Inspiring Games, and they're going to talk about the process you go through to create a world from scratch, basically. We've got a game book design workshop. So Gavin Ingalls, who is a renowned writer for sort of Call of Cthulhu, and he's got a Chaosium as well. So about an hour and a half that will take, and he's basically going to take people through from the idea of how to make a book right through to actually making your own choose your own adventure book. I think
Fighting fantasy games.
I think there's an announcement.
There's
an announcement which Dave has got stars.
Read it as read.
Ready.
Word for word.
Star. Announcement. Star.
Okay.
Exclusive.
Oh, is that circled as well?
It's circled.
Wow. It's important.
Crowdfunding 101. Hosted by some guy called Richard Simpson.
Me!
Why has he got a question mark after that?
Well, that's because...
That's not
to be honest...
you meant that you've got to raise your flesh?
No, it is. It's because every time I look at Richard, I go, question mark?
That's what it is. I get that.
Richard will be joined by panellist Sarah Kennington from One Free Elephant. Hi, Sarah. A lot. What's Awesome?
Yes, good game. Lots of fun.
Awesome.
Really
Awesome. I love Awesome.
It's a very fun game.
Awesome by One Free Elephant. It's a great game.
I've got Microbrew as well.
Oh, yeah, Microbrew.
It looks fun. I've not played it yet. I've got two copies, not played it yet.
Yeah, well, that's typical. Mark McKinnon of Wreck and Ruin fame.
Fully funded and distributed and fulfilled.
Looks lovely.
Wreck and Ruin
Yeah, fantastic.
And it looks lovely. I did a video on it because it's absolutely stunning.
Obviously, he's from Dream Big Games. And Elaine Lithgow from Digisprite. And at this point, I've got a question, and it is, what is the seminar about, Richard? Question mark.
The seminar, John, answer, is going to be basically, there's going to be some set questions from that we're going to be kind of taking to our expert panel, because I am not an expert on Kickstarter. I speak to a lot.
It's 100% successful.
Yes.
Nice. Fully funded. In fact, it's super reached the targets.
I know.
You've got a brand new laptop here out of it.
I know. It's like 300. Okay,
He's selling himself short, really.
All right, 300% funded. Okay,
300%.
Funded within the first 10 hours.
I think
He looked at those stats straight away. He knows the stats. It's not as if
fully fulfilled, fully armed.
I think we should change it from crowdfunding 101 to crowdfunding 300% funded.
It is gonna be just. We're hoping to get people to come along who are interested in finding out maybe a little bit more about Kickstarter itself. Yeah. People who are sitting there thinking about putting their first game together. So we've got, Mark Mark's the guy. Mark was the little engine that could. Basically, he tackled kind of getting Reckoning funded on 3 separate occasions, and how he had to pick himself up every time and get out there. Sarah is obviously, she's done Microbrew, which is hugely successful.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, fully funded Tabletop Store.
Yes, yes.
Launched and fully funded Tabletop Store.
Carcosa as well, which again,
Carcosa,
they're all been very, very successful games. So she's there to give kind of like advice on it. Elaine from DigiSprite, they've got a game coming out very, very soon. I think it's going to be later on this year. They've already had Doomsday Bots, which was funded and successful. So it's just to kind of give. Sometimes when you look at Kickstarter, people think of the really big players like your Simon, Mantic, and they forget, it's about a case of can you be kind of successful in that kind of sphere. And so we're having this Simon is like going.
See this. You said certain words there that set Simon off.
That
set me off as well.
Simon or Mantic? Mantic?
No, it annoys the fuck out of me. It does.
It's not a business model.
Right. So that's going to be there to discuss kind of Kickstarter, how it works for certain people. We're going to be taking some questions. We're going to be taking some questions on the day. And hopefully people are going to be going away a bit more inspired, or decide to make that first step, or a little bit knowledgeable about the Kickstarter kind of platform itself.
And again, the important thing there is it's going to be an interactive element, which we're going to have in all of our seminars.
Yeah, exactly.
Except one, because we don't want to interacting with the film screen while the film's on.
We've basically got a cinema set.
Oh, we've got a cinema set up this year.
What?
So we'll have Eye of the Beholder, the Art of Dungeons and Dragons documentary.
Wow.
Now that will follow on from a tabletop art panel hosted by Ben from Unlucky Frog.
Oh yeah.
And Ben is going to be joined by Ralph Horsley, John Hodgson, Andy Hepworth, and to be confirmed, 1 or 2 other tabletop artists to talk about their craft.
I'm going to interrupt you and ask, you played Ben recently at Age of Sigmar, didn't you?
Yes, I did, Simon.
What happened? How did that go?
I heard that you played Ben at Age of Sigmar. How did that happen? How did it go?
Quickly, I believe.
Ben doesn't like me anymore.
Right, okay.
And he has, and I will say this, Ben has an absolutely lovely, a fantastically well painted army for Age of Sigmar, and I would proudly own one of said models if Ben hadn't threatened to kill me after what I did to my tabletop. No, I'm not joking. But Ben and I played, and Ben walked into a shark.
Was it the case that while it was nicely painted, the paint wasn't thick enough to deflect all of the owning that you did?
An M1 Abrams couldn't have deflected the amount of owning that was going down there. Frankly, Ben brought a lovely army to a gunfight.
Who's going to do the Sean Connery impression?
No, not me. But yeah, so Ben's hosting a session for us, and that'll be followed by the film.
And then the film, so that's on the Saturday evening, but obviously the epic's on Saturday evening as well.
Right.
So we listened to the people. They said, we did. They wanted us to put it on the Sunday as well. They said, Dave, what are you doing, man? We've got to watch this film. So we're repeating it on Sunday.
But important.
Let it not be said that Dave has been everyone.
Yes.
All hail Dave.
The Saturday night showing, however, is the UK premiere of the film.
Oh.
So we've got an exclusive UK premiere of this film. Only one of us has seen it is Dave. So
where did he see it?
Some convention in America.
If you say that
sort of general,
if you say that word,
convention,
this lovely Geekinson table is getting flipped.
A general convention.
Once I've got a car to pull over it. Some convention in America.
Did he see a Gen Con?
He saw it at Gen Con. That's what it was. And the world's finest American football stadium. I will print out.
All right.
So obviously, again, that's the
film. Eye of the Beholder.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And Ben's going to be a busy bunny. The guys from Lucky Frog are going to be busy bunny that weekend because they're also doing their own live show with details to be confirmed. It's not going to be another Room D100+1, which I'm disappointed at.
I must admit,
because I really enjoyed that.
I'm not. I can retire undefeated.
That's true. I think their decision-making process might have been not allowing.
The only thing you'll win, Kevin.
It is.
I think this might have been influenced by the fact of not letting Josh on a stage where I'm about, and I've got a bit drinking me.
The thing is, but by the time you meet him again, it will be time for your insurance renewal.
It's true. It's his that needs insurance renewal. And then obviously the Saturday night pub quiz.
Sounds good.
Pub quiz.
That's questions, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't just questions.
There wasn't just questions. There was
put your hand in Charlotte's magic box.
There was board game or porno.
yes.
No.
Board game or porno.
Oh, right, board game or porno.
No, because I heard what he said. Well, you thought Duncan said there was board game or porno, which nobody needs.
That sounded like board game or
What
porno.
Duncan meant to say was board game or porno.
That's the 5 coming out in different.
That's
the 5.
Welcome to Cowden Beef.
I might need to edit just that one bit of the show. Put in some guitar.
So that, and then the pub quiz Saturday night, and then Sunday repeat showing of the film for everyone that wants to have a little chill Sunday if they've maybe enjoyed themselves a bit too much at the pub quiz on the Saturday night, or they want somewhere to hide Sunday morning, or something.
In case they enjoyed themselves a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So Sunday we'll have board gaming with kids with the fantastic Jennifer and Eric of Juniper Green Board Gamers in Edinburgh.
Oh, right, okay.
Eric's very excited to be doing this. Typical Eric fashion. And they'll host a seminar on the do's and don'ts of introducing kids to games and games to kids.
Oh, right, okay.
How to shrink wrap your cards. PVC, is it for you? As if you're playing yogi.
You don't need to because they're plastic.
Well, now.
Oh, yeah.
They're actually very lovely cards.
Yeah, we actually did play 3 games of yogi before you arrived, by the way.
Oh, did you?
We were waiting for you to play 3 games. Duncan won 1, Simon won 2. But Simon was getting all the point your finger down. Meanwhile, Duncan's got balance this card on top of your nose while you're already standing on 1 foot and spinning round in circles.
Easy.
That's what it felt like. And so the Juniper Green Gamers, it's a club these guys have been running in Edinburgh for a while now. Juniper Green in Edinburgh.
Oh,
very cool.
and they play games.
They do, and it's a very family-friendly community. They have very family-orientated, so they're going to hopefully get a few people come on to find out how to make gaming kid-friendly and kid-accessible. Some gaming can be a little bit kid-unfriendly.
Yeah, no.
Particularly when I'm about. So
I think it's,
So if you're looking for an area to be John free on the Sunday morning, there's your choice. And then Tom Manrin's back again with How to GM, about and he's going to do a session on how to GM an RPG, and he'll talk through his experience, the process of building the experience for your players, and we'll do a Q&A with the audience as well, apparently.
It sounds like an awful lot on, and then you've got the kind of the player tables as well, so people can be entertaining themselves playing games.
Over 1,000 seats of open gaming space this year.
That's seminars, live shows. We've talked about the RPGs. We've also got the Starship Bridge Simulator, also known as Empty Epsilon. So because Sarah, Nigel were at the convention last year, launching Microbrew, funding it, and whilst at the convention, little thing like that. This year, One Free Elephant aren't coming as an exhibit.
Oh, right.
Well, they are. Yeah. They keep changing their mind. Dave, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. They are coming as an exhibit.
He's got that on his phone on repeat, actually. Yeah. Dave, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Dave, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot.
So
it's actually Dave's ringtone.
Picture me. So they're coming, but as well as doing seminars, Nigel is running the Starbridge Simulator, which we're going to put in the boardroom this year.
It'll be in the boardroom.
Oh, cool. So you can get your own chance to pilot your own and be part of the crew of a starship.
And for clarity, like all of our events, it's free.
Yes.
So if you've bought your convention ticket, you're not paying a bean more to sign up for any of these events. It's first come, first served. But we'll have, again, certain sessions where they're only sign up on the day. So there will be, I think, 2 of 5 or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
There's going to be a number where you can only sign up when you're there. Some will be advanced sign up, but if you've got yourself and a group of your mates who want to be a crew,
chance again. So we've seen the simulator, we've seen at it.
Yeah.
We keep trying and missing an opportunity to go through and the 4 of us to actually do it. It's just because we can't get in the 4 of us, and the only time we can get all 4 of us together normally is for team meetings. We don't have time to go and play.
Yeah.
But we know of it. We've seen people play it, and we've checked it out, and looks pretty brilliant, to be honest with you. So if you think to yourself that you are the next Captain Kirk or the previous Captain Kirk, or you will be Captain Pine or
Captain Pike now, or Pine or
Pike.
Pike, Anson Mount, fantastic in Discovery, fantastic.
I've not seen any of the new series yet.
It's brilliant, honest to goodness. I want him on his own as a series. I want him. I don't really care about Discovery. I want more of Captain Pike.
That's what endorsement, eh?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
That's a stunning endorsement.
Have you not watched it?
I have.
I've watched a lot. I've watched the first series. I think I'm in the second series.
So it's just you this time.
It's just me.
I need to
I
catch
don't
up.
know. It's
I do like it.
Yeah, so we've got tournaments again this year.
Yeah.
And we've got the return of the Catan National Qualifier, the UK National Qualifier. So last year's champion 2018 Alan Farrell, reading Dave's typing, he's going to UK Games Expo to compete.
Yes.
As part of his prize for winning 2018. And we've got Pandemic Survival 2020 season. And it was so popular last year because we ran out of space at that.
Yeah.
We're doing 2 semi-finals on the Saturday and a final on the Sunday.
Wow.
And our 2018 winners, Kirsten and Kevin, will be at UK Games Expo again, competing in the UK Championship for this year.
the best thing about Pandemic Survival is when you're one of the umpires, and you just reach over and take away one of the players' cards because they've got too many. It's great. If they're out of time, and then you just
unlimited power.
That's great. I'm going to take that one. How does that bug you up?
There you go. I'm taking Bob.
So and John Laurie, who ran it for us last year, he's running that again this year, so he's bravely signed up to be that. So
and I mean, Asmodee themselves are obviously coming up to do their demo zone as well, but they're actually sending a slightly bigger force of people up with them. Yeah. So actually they're going to help support us in the running of the pandemic as well.
That was the only thing I found is I didn't know if they expected it to be busy, but I noticed they didn't have an awful lot of kind of volunteers ready to kind of jump on.
I think it was a bit of a timing issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, because proximity to other conventions, that kind of impact. And we've got Asmodee coming.
Cool.
We've got the Coral Spring Games demo team again.
Yeah.
Harper in the Family Zone. We've got
obviously the Gateway Zone again. The other thing is, in terms of tournaments, we've got another announcement, John. You've missed an announcement. There's stars and a circle.
You've missed stars and a circle. You know what happens when you miss stars and a circle?
No, we've got several actually.
I'm sorry, Dave.
New.
We're not worthy.
An apology is not enough.
I apologise before. New on the Saturday, we're hosting a Snake Oil Large Dose event, which is 20 plus player version of the party game.
Oh, okay.
I've never played Snake Oil.
I have.
Is it good?
It is. It's essentially you're trying to sell an item made from cards that you have. Mm-hmm. So you're putting two together to make an item to sell to a particular person.
All right.
I played this once with Roy from Dwarf, and this particular one was to try and sell something to a gamer, and he said, "Right, that's it. I've done it." He had 2 cards: War, Hammer.
Done. No.
Job done. But it can get quite funny. So I'm interested to see how it's going to pan out on a bigger
20
scale.
plus players, so hopefully get people.
That'll be good.
And then on the Sunday, we're hosting a qualifier for the UK Championship again, the 2020 season, for Ticket to Ride, which we've called the Scottish Championship because we're ballsy.
And it's in Scotland. And it's a
Scottish Championship.
And it's a championship.
And it's Ticket to Ride, so we know what Alex is going to be doing on the Sunday. And in conjunction with Mayday Games, we're hosting a life-size version of the Pirate Programming game.
I love that, Pirate Programming.
Pirate Programming, I like that.
I bet Dave just put that in just so to hear you say it.
Yeah, Walk the Plank.
Wow.
So, Walk the Plank, and it's going to be life-size. And we don't just mean...
It's not an actual ship, George.
No, it's not that
life-size. There's a plank.
That's why we need the second hall.
We've hired a guy. The playing pieces will be 1-to-1 scale.
No.
Humans.
So
this is amazing. I'm going to get murdered.
Well, my inclination is it's going to be scraps. I'm just pushing you.
Yeah.
Anyway, physically pushing.
We did at one point. I did posit the motion to the rest of the team, and I was turned down with this about possibly just hiring the swimming pool next door. Hire the pool and do it at the pool, and I got told no.
Health and safety gone mad.
Yes, mad. And then I had to fill. Then I filled in the insurance paperwork and realised that no was the right answer.
That's a potentiality for people to try.
Yes, it is. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're doing that. So life size, people powered, wall plank. Looks brilliant. Great. We just can't wait for that because it should be fun.
Big, massive size cards.
Like printed cards. You know,
play your cards right.
Yeah. They may or may not be pirate costumes.
They're so well. Definitely. You can tell that John's got like 15 pirate costumes in his cupboard just waiting to crack them out.
No, they're already cracked out. These will be clean pirate costumes.
Like clean.
What's what you call yourself, son? John Harper.
And of course, as Dave Duncan said before, all of these things are there. There's no financial,
which is important because there's nothing worse than getting to any type of event and discovering it then becomes a money making exercise. So the worst thing you want is, you want to play this, it's £2.50 to enter. You want to do this, you've got to do. I mean, I think the only thing that people will have to lay down cash for is if they've got to pay their deposit for when they play from the games library.
And it's a deposit. You get your money back. At the end of the day, you bring your games back, you get your money back. Exactly. And actually, last year, a few people very generously said, "No, keep the deposit and we put it into our charity pot because we're raising funds for charity." And we have a charity partner again this year, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it is.
Has Dave not noted it down?
Dave's not written it down.
Dave hasn't. It's Dave's fault.
Dave's fault.
It's Dave's fault. Dave's fault that I can't remember it. Macmillan. There
you go.
It's Macmillan.
Right, okay.
So we've got a couple of things planned that we're going to announce later on with regards to that and how we're going to raise funds for them.
Excellent.
So there'll be an element of the Bring and Bride profit.
The Bring and Bride will be back.
Bring and Bride
it will be in a bigger space with more people, and it still won't be enough people, and it still won't be enough space.
Too many games.
So the Bring and Bride is going to be in full force again. And because of the change in layout with the extra hall, we are going to be able to bring more exhibitors, more retailers, more things for people to see and do. So the list of signed up.
I think you should do it in your way straight.
Before we move on to that, John,
yes,
you seem to have forgotten the announcement with the stars and the circle.
Again!
That one there with the stars and the circle.
Oh, that one. The stars, again, star announcement. Star. In conjunction with Drawn to the Flame podcast. That's my subconscious saying, don't type out other podcasts during Richard's podcast. But then I remembered, I'm paying for this podcast. I can say what I want. Right? We're hosting
What's the name of that podcast?
Drawn to the Flame podcast.
To the Flame. Another good podcast.
It's an excellent podcast. So in conjunction with the fine folks at Drawn to the Flame podcast.
You might as well mention Unlucky Frog and Giant Brain at the same time then.
Well, okay. But this is an answer to that Drawn to the Flame.
Drawn to the Flame.
Yes.
Podcast.
That's Drawn to the Flame.
Drawn to the Flame.
Podcast.
We got it right that time, Dave. In conjunction with those fine fellows, we're hosting an Arkham Horror
He messed that up. He messed that up.
I didn't.
You did. Well,
we're hosting an Arkham Horror.
You said Arkham.
Did I?
Yes.
Arkham Horror LCG Invocation Event.
Say that again.
LCG Invocation Event.
You said it.
In my head now, LCG Invocation's a big Arctic lorry go contest.
Tabletop Scotland recruiting now for a member of the organising team.
Yes, you too could be a skivvy.
I'm not editing this out.
No, I don't.
We're still working in the finer details, but if you enjoy the Arkham Horror LCG, then you're going to want to join in with this. Full stop, yes.
End of announcement.
Is there anything else he's missed?
No, just
more than likely.
Plenty of stuff. We've got 5 bits of paper.
We can always, edit in later.
And then, exactly. And so we've still got. I was saying before we were interrupted to remember the announcement that I've forgotten 4 times already. Was the exhibitors. We looked at the exhibitors we had last year, and we're pleased to say that. Are they all back?
All but 2.
All but 2. So all the people that exhibited last year are coming back this year.
Yes.
And some of them are coming on board as sponsors. So the lovely guys from Andy and Co from DMB Games, who were a sponsor last year, they're sponsoring again this year.
Excellent.
Geek and Son are sponsoring again this year. Handiwork Games are sponsoring.
Good.
Board Game Book are sponsoring, and we'll be there.
Owen's been on the show.
So you can buy your own copy of the Board Game Book, and I certainly will be.
At special convention price.
I'll be getting it signed. Yes. Detailer Woodworking, purveyor of fine wooden swords. No, seriously, lovely bit of kit. Just a shame I couldn't buy one because it was already sold before I got there. So Daniel was an exhibit last year, and he's joined as a sponsor again this year. And Murphy's Vault from Edinburgh. Murphy's Vault on board as sponsors. And the list of exhibitors is...
As things stand, there are still others that we're speaking to. This list will definitely grow.
So this is the current confirmed list are All Rolled Up.
Okay.
Big Bad Cat Games.
Yes.
Big Dog Books. I was going to say Big Cat. I was going to say Big Cat. Big Dog Books from Perth. Perth. Cardboard and Coffee Games. Common Ground Games from Stirling. Dark Fantastic Mills.
Right.
If you don't know them, I love Gary. Gary's my friend. I'm saying that now because he does me a great deal on. And I owe him money. Decking Awesome Games.
They actually came to the playtest zone last year.
They did.
And then they put their game on Kickstarter.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
You played that, didn't you?
Yeah. I played it, wrote a preview on it.
It looked a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It
looked a lot of fun.
Good fun.
And they're brilliant people as well.
I had a really good chat with them at the Geekinson table when they were doing their stuff. It was a fantastic game. Digisprite. Dream Big Games. Floating World Designs. Genki Gear. So rabbit ears for all that want them. There's nothing quite as impressive as a 6'5" man who looks a bit like a berry and walk around in a pair of pink, sparkly unicorn / rabbit ears.
That's the John Sad, isn't it?
That is mine. Illusionary Constructs, Inspiring Games.
You said, I thought you were going to... I was really expecting that to go wrong.
There you go.
That's the one I was expecting to go wrong.
Little Shop.
You're okay, Dave. You made it.
Little Shop of Hold Dolls. Seymour. Feed me, Seymour. Medusa Games, One for Elephant, Ralph Horsley Art, Redwell Games, Settlers, Hamilton, Tabletop Crafter, The Crafting Jones.
Oh, Shah's going to be coming from
Yes,
Settlers.
And he's got a bigger castle of games this year than he had
the
last
big
year.
castle last year.
From Redwell over there.
It's going to be well. It's easy to take the thing out.
Crafting Jones,
Sally Jones.
The Lovely Sally, War Bases, from local to us from Kenny Hill. Just a load from me. West End Games, Wooden Donkey, and Yay Games.
Yay! You were at Aircon.
Yeah, so what we've tried to do again is we've tried to cover quite a broad spectrum there. It's not all just retailers, it's not all just manufacturers, it's a spectrum of the various things that make up this hobby. Because to be honest with you, we talk about tabletop gaming, but what we're actually talking about is 1,001 different things, if not more.
It's like talking about having DIY as a hobby.
Yeah.
There's so many different kind of permutations that, and people sometimes don't even interact, as well, which is...
And I think what we saw last year was we saw that the spread we had last year in terms of the different exhibitors and retailers was that, a lot of people found a lot that they weren't expecting.
Wow.
And what we tried to do is, again, we're going bigger, but we're not going bigger for the sake of it. We're trying to make sure we bring in that, there's something for everyone appeal. We don't want to see, 20 people selling the same thing.
No.
But at the same time, we want to give people the opportunity to, get what they want out of it. And if it so happens that Gary wants to give me free things, that'd be nice. Worth trying.
You never know. We've spent a lot of money on this.
And the things, we've got the 2 halls this year, so we're not going to have a hall for exhibitors and a hall for open gaming.
Yeah.
We're going to have the exhibitors absolutely in the middle of both, so the doors between both those halls. So there's a bit of open gaming, a bit of something else, and a bit of exhibitor in each hall. So hopefully that sort of works. And
we've got, in terms of the actual gaming space, table count wise, we're aiming to go over 1,000.
So over 1,000 in terms of seats for open gaming space, but that's not including in the exhibitor zone if they do a table set up. That's not including the role playing. It's not including the seminars or anything along those lines.
Yeah, you have to read it as written.
Yeah, if you want to come along and play games, then we will have a games library with roughly 300 board games in it and around 1,000 seats for attendees to play games at.
We said that earlier without even knowing that that's what he'd written down.
Yeah.
It's like we're becoming attuned in some way.
Exactly. So bigger, we think, is better in this scenario.
Yes.
But we're not going too big.
And for no more money than it cost last year.
Yeah, that's what I was
ticket
going to
prices
ask. What are going to be the ticket prices?
Well, £15 gets you a weekend ticket for an adult.
£10 for a Saturday only, £8 for a Sunday only. But again, if someone comes along on a Saturday only and wants to upgrade,
then you pay the difference for another bit, extra bit. And that was really popular last year. And obviously we're having family tickets again this year.
Yes.
Which
Dave didn't write on his bit of paper.
Dave didn't write on paper, so no. We are having family tickets again this year.
Young adults under 16 will basically get a discounted price compared to adult, and under 10 and under is free again, which went down really well last year.
Yes.
And I think it's definitely been something that was a good move.
And last year, our youngest attendee was slightly over a month old. It was like 4.5, 5 weeks old.
And still be John at Rhino.
Yes. But then again, most people can beat John at Rhino Hero, so that's fine. So a family ticket is, for the weekend is £44. For Saturday, it's 30 and for 23 for the Sunday. But we think at £44 for the weekend, that's really good.
That's really good.
And a family ticket is 2 adults and 2 young adults, and there's no limit on
number of kids
under 10s. No one under 10s.
That's cool.
You have to book your ticket in advance.
Yes.
For if you're booking for example, if you're booking a family ticket and you've got under 10s, make sure you book your under 10 tickets at the same time.
Yes.
But we will be doing on the door sales as well. Obviously, we'd like people to buy in advance to make the whole getting in.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to plan, but you have to factor in you're going to have that on the day element. But John, these tickets that you know the prices of by heart of, how does one go about buying these?
How do you go about buying these tickets, John?
Well, I would endorse visiting www.tabletopscotland.co.uk and pressing on the big blue Buy Tickets button. The big blue Buy Tickets button.
That's got an exclamation mark. Did Dave write the text for that tickets button?
Yes. Buy tickets, it says.
It's actually Buy Tickets!
Is that pastel colour that he's chosen?
And I've noticed that's definitely some almost like denim.
Let's have a look at it. How it's big and it's blue. Yes?
Big and blue.
What type? Do you know what type font that is? It looks like Times New Roman to me a bit.
That's a bit. You can buy your tickets online all the way through to the 9th of August, 8 o'clock on the 9th of August. And we won't post them out. You'll be able to collect them on the day.
All right, cool.
So, on the day, collection of tickets. So that'll give us time to get them ready, printed for people to collect them on the day. Excellent. So you don't need to worry about losing them. Don't worry about them getting lost in the post. Don't worry about them getting eaten by the dog. Just make sure you turn up with your confirmation, and you'll get your tickets when you arrive.
Excellent.
And as John mentioned earlier as well, the event tickets, so for all those seminars and for the tournaments and whatnot, they go on sale essentially from the 24th of May. But you can buy the convention ticket now without those, and then when they come online, you can then buy them and add them to your basket.
Yeah, and again, you sign up for an RPG session, you're not paying extra. You sign up to play Walk the Plank, even though we're not doing the swimming pool. You don't pay extra.
And so what can we expect to see when we go into the event?
Me in a pirate costume.
Yay! That's all I'm doing. Just you on a t-shirt on the floor, that's all.
Just one little thing to say on that. We were promised last year that John would be wearing a rhinestone sparkly Indiana Jones outfit.
Last year. And that didn't happen. I don't remember there being photographs about that.
Well, just because there was no photos doesn't mean it didn't happen.
A select audience.
Yeah. A select audience of one, maybe two. In fact, why was I wearing that last year?
You weren't. Because you didn't go buy
I
one.
wasn't going to wear
But you were good.
I couldn't find
it. It was for Kuruba. Indiana Jones.
So there's a whole pile of other games that will be along today which you cannot bother dressing up for as well. Which is okay.
I can only dress up for one game at a time.
Well, if you were a professional, you would at least have 3 or 4 outfits. But let's not bring this into this kind of session. So
I'm not dressing in
he's only paid so much.
Exactly. Not paid at all.
We will. We'll make sure that we'll put all the links to the social medias and stuff like that, to your Twitters, to your Facebook groups, to the website as well, so people can go in and get the tickets too. So we'll make sure that we do all that as well. personally, I will definitely be there because I'll be looking forward to going. I can't wait. I had an absolute blast.
Personally, we'll be there because I've told them you're going to be there. I read the bit of paper with you.
Yes, I know, but I'm trying to feign enthusiasm as opposed to
the pending sense of doom.
Yes, basically, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very, very much for. Well, why am I thanking you? Thanks, Duncan, for letting us come round you.
You're very welcome. You've not wrecked the joint, so that's good.
That's true.
Yeah. And thanks, John, for contributing. You've got your badge.
Got my Kickstarter badge. Yeah.
Thank you, Simon.
Although I can't put it on yet.
You're happy. Ed, any last words that we want to say?
Yes.
Not that word. Not that word.
John Harper is a dumbass.
There you go.
Vive la Republique.
Sorry, Dave.
If you want to keep an eye on what we're up to, go on to the internet web, search for We're Not Wizards. You'll find us on various places, worn out places, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and our website and our blog. And you can go onto the various podcast catchers, which have either got the word pod in them or the word cast in them, except for Spotify, which has neither, because it's... And you can also, if you like us and you like what you've listened to tonight, jump over to Apple Podcasts and drop us a subscription or drop us a rating or a review. And as we say, if you are going to be dropping us a rating or review, don't give us 10 stars because it makes us big-headed, but don't give us 0 stars because it makes us cry. And as these guys will testify, I will no doubt be a bit of an ugly crier. Give us 5 because it's in the middle and it's a little bit average. And there's certainly
we've certainly proved it.
Certainly 75% of us are slightly average.
I'm 100% average.
There you go. Again, thank you very, very much, gentlemen, for appearing. I wish you nothing but the best for Tabletop Scotland. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fantastic. There is only 2 more things to do. First thing is to remember that we are many things, but we're not wizards. Are we wizards?
Well, I'm not. I'm a dwarf player, so fucking
no,
none of that magic.
Are you a wizard, Duncan?
I'm not.
John, are you going to ruin this?
I am sadly still not a wizard.
That's sadly good enough for me. And the other thing that we need to do is to say goodbye. So it's a goodbye from Duncan.
Goodbye.
It's a goodbye from Simon.
Ta-da!
It's a goodbye from John.
TTFN.
Tabletop.
Ta-ta for now.
All right, okay. What
Tabletop.
Tabletop.
What? Fucking Jesus Christ!
And that's how you blow an outro.
Remember, stay safe, roll 6s, make something awful, but until the next time, goodbye!
A wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.